How's it going, everybody? I'm Jeff Slakey, and I am here with City of Shelton Engineer Ken Gill, and we are about to talk and walk through the Western Gateway project. As you can see, we're at the Welcome to Shelton sign at the City Center exit. Ken, how you doing?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Good.
Good to be out. Thanks for having good weather for us. This is going to be a big project, and it's going to impact a lot of folks as many come into town through the City Center.
Yes.
What can we expect to see, and what's the project? Can we walk the route, or what's going on here?
Yeah, let's walk the route today.
All right, show me where we're
let's
going.
go. So first, a big thank you to our funding partners with the Transportation Improvement Board. Amy Asher, our MTA General Manager, sits on that board. Appreciate her and Chris Langhoff and their staff. Also a big thank you to Connie Razor. She's our WashDOT liaison with the tracks.
Slow down a little bit, Ken.
Okay.
Rod here's he's got to walk backwards for us. No, that's okay.
Also, a big thank you to Mike Turcotte. He's with the Utilities Commissions. But we've taken all the steps that we need through the federal and state agencies for this project regarding to remove portions of the tracks.
Okay.
So, but we're not taking out all the tracks. We're just taking out the portion right at Railroad Avenue.
Yeah.
And then behind Rod, where we constructed a bus shelter. We'll look at it when we get down there further for MTA.
This is a big project.
Big project, big structure.
How long has the city been working on the plans and the out for bid and all the parts that are needed for this?
So this started before I showed up in the city of Shelton, and I showed up around in August 2019. But Craig Greger gets the credit of putting in that application. He was our former public works director, along with Brooke Kiltz and Kobe Glasser. So they really laid the foundation for this. Let's walk up here on the tracks. I'm a little nervous ruglock on the road. So the concept, the whole project is new water main, new water services, new fire hydrants from 8th Street all the way up to Pacific Court.
Wow.
In addition to new asphalt and a sidewalk on both sides of the road up to 12th, and then a new sidewalk on the south side all the way out to Pacific Court, where there is none now. You really need one, as you can see. It's the reason why we're walking up on here.
Yeah.
It's unsafe to walk over there.
And there are, as we said, hundreds of cars, thousands of cars that come in to Shelton and get out through Shelton by taking that city center exit. So you definitely want to make sure it's safe. And then, of course, want to make sure that it looks good for people when they come into the city, so it's a good first impression.
You do. There's nothing that makes a great first impression that's smooth asphalt.
Right, that's right. You
it's
come
sidewalks.
In, you're kind of bumping around, not sure what to do.
Right. Another, I want a big thank you to PUD 3.
Sure.
Right now, there's only one street light all the way out at Pacific Court, and PUD 3 has put on new street lights on all these timber poles, so it's not a tunnel all the way out. At night, it's all lit up.
Yeah.
And that'll be really important for our pedestrians that are using the street.
So what about this rail that we're walking by? Is this all going to remain, or is this all going to go?
This is going to remain.
Okay.
We're just taking it out where we're doing our improvements.
Okay.
So that's in the asphalt or the bus shelter that I'll show you a little bit later, where we're putting a sidewalk. Okay. But this these 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of tracks are all going to remain here.
You were telling me that there's been some supply chain issues and things like that. Everybody's kind of dealt with that over the last 2 years or so. And has that been a major impact, or are you still kind of continuing on pace that you expected?
It's been a major impact to this project in terms of attaining water main and all the fittings that you need.
Right.
And it's a long lead, 16 to 18 weeks to get those materials from the suppliers to the contractors to Shelton. And Shelton is blessed. We got 4 bids. The low bidder was local contractor Miles Resources, which is just right up the street at Franklin, at the end of Franklin and Railroad. So
when you guys start opening up the ground, what are you best case hoping to find and maybe expecting to find under the ground, and how you connect everything? So what I hope to find is a whole bunch of sand and gravel. Sure. It makes great backfill, right? But when we're building parts of the bus shelter, we'll probably encounter this old wooden water main that's along here in the shoulder, and you can see it daylight every once along here. But this was the wooden water main that brought water from the flume, the former flume,
and provide fire protection to the former mill.
That's amazing.
And you can see it hasn't been in service for a long, long time.
Is there something in here? Can we look? Is there any way to look in here or no?
Maybe you might find a few rabbits or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this kind of what you're talking about though? What you
Yes.
start to dig in under?
Yes, but this will be, the majority of it will be all left here.
Okay.
The bus shelter will be further up here, and we might expose it there.
Okay.
So
I've heard stories about those old wooden pipes that are under the ground around town. Does that make it, I mean, I guess at some historic level, that's kind of a neat thing, but in a practicality sense, that's a tough one, huh?
well, the tough thing is it creates sinkholes
Yeah.
around town, and the thing that you never want to do is start pulling on the wire,
Right.
because it'll never stop.
Right.
So it's a great part of Shelton's history, but its period and usefulness is gone by.
Yeah.
You know, the new water main that we'll be putting in will be ductile iron, and it'll have a 50 to 75-year life, provide these residents with water service and fire protection for a long, long time.
Now, is this going to add something to what these folks have not had access to, or is this just upgrading, like you said?
This is just replacing the existing water main.
Okay.
So that it's an appropriate size and pipe type. It's basically just resetting the design life. The water main that's in the ground right now is at the end of its design life.
Sure.
And the end of its useful, and you start springing up leaks, and you'll have interruptions of service, and no one wants that in
No, they
the water
don't.
service.
What's the impact going to be for the residents along this stretch of road here?
The impact for the residents is they'll have, a water main being built. They'll have a sidewalk being constructed across their frontage. Depending on the topography, you might have a segmental block retaining wall. So they'll get a sidewalk and new pavement. The contractor's required to keep one lane open. Shelton is blessed, though. We also have a parallel street with Franklin, which is just right over here.
Sure.
That they can use, that completely bypasses the entire project.
That's a really good point. And there will be the city reader boards that tell people about all that.
There will be. So got a big thank you to Mary Ricker on all the outreach. Big thank you to Brooke Kiltz on the webpage she's designed that we have for links of project updates and some of the details that you might have on the project. So I'm going to just stop right here. These stakes are the new Mason Transit Authority bus shelter.
Okay.
And a big thank you to Amy Asher. The MTA is funding the shelter, the sidewalk in front of it. Just can't thank her enough on helping making this project go. And of course, it'll serve the Turning Point facility and the residents around it.
So I see that the stakes even go back in a little. So this will be well off the road, and for when the bus pulls over, there's not going to be a major impact for traffic here.
Yeah, you'll have a complete bus pullout.
Nice.
Motor vehicles that won't be stopped up by the bus. But it's a huge improvement, because right now, if you and I are coming out here to catch the bus, we're standing on that utility vault that's owned by Lumen.
Yeah.
And which is not a good situation.
No, because we're in between lights, and like you mentioned, the PUD put these great LED lights up that shine so well. But if you're on the side of the road and cars are coming around the corner, you want to make sure you have a little bit of protectivity here.
The other thing that it gets is a crosswalk here.
Okay.
And wheelchair ramps across so that people can get across safely.
Yeah, and you mentioned sidewalks as well, and they'll all be the ADA accessible and things like that?
Yeah, it'll be a 6-foot sidewalk all along the south side of Railroad Avenue, all the way down into town.
I've noticed over the last week or two some good hard work done by some of the timber companies tearing down some of these trees. You can see some of them in the background there.
Yes, so that is I believe it's a Pacific Coast redwood. And if we walk down there further, you'll see that the sidewalk that's existing there is just lodged about like this, and it's unusable. So Amy Anderson is our inspector, and she's reached out to both those property owners, gotten permission, and of course City Crews have begun taking it down and providing the wood to the property owners. But I hated to see it go, but it had lost its top a couple storms ago.
Yeah.
And we had a forester come out on site and give us a recommendation. His recommendation was it needs to leave, and so the next sidewalk won't be impacted like the existing one is.
Right, right. What about when we're back down there towards where the railroad is on the other side? I've noticed that folks are starting to kind of clean that area up. Is that part of that same project, or is that an additional thing that's going on?
You know, I don't know anything about that. We'd have to go down and take a closer look at it.
Okay. And the tracks over railroad, will they continue to be there for cars, or will that all be cleared off and paved over?
Yep. Nope. That bump will go away. The tracks will go away. You have a smooth road, in addition to ADA ramps that come across there. So that section of tracks will be gone on Railroad Avenue.
You know, we just see this truck go by here, and you can tell how kind of close it is to that white line there, that edge line.
Yes.
So sidewalks will be very well needed there. That's
yes.
amazing.
And welcomed by the property owners.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Do you have to have sidewalks now as part of these projects? Is that built in these days?
Correct. It's the strings associated with the funding
that
the city has gotten from the Transportation Improvement Board. The city is blessed. We've got 2 grants, one from both from TIB, but one separate for sidewalk and one separate for the pavement replacement.
And what's the timeline again on this thing? The signs are up that we're going to see some work done, but these are long projects, right?
They are long projects. There's 120 working days, but the start time won't happen until, of course, we get the water main parts here, and the contractor has everything he needs to complete the project. But again, Shelton is blessed in that the contractor's yard is just right around the corner,
right
at the end of Franklin.
What are some of the ways that not only city residents or even people here from Pacific down to the welcome sign can do to help in assisting making this be a smoother process?
Being patient with the construction team that's out here, knowing that yes, it's going to be a disruption, but we're trying to rip the Band-Aid off once, get it done as quickly as we possibly can, and return it to in a much better state than what it is now.
And again, folks are able to come in on the first or third exits into town. There's the cutoff here on Franklin that's just on the other side, so there's plenty of opportunity to go around the project as it's going. Yes. Well, this will be a good one, and it's really going to transform the look of Shelton as people are coming in here from the city center exit, as we're talking with City Engineer Ken Gill about the Gateway Western Gateway project. And I really appreciate the time out here talking about this, and I think it's going to be a nice change and a welcome change as we move into the future generations of Shelton. This is a cool thing.
It's a great project, and I'm excited to get started.
Thank you.
Yeah.